All right, let's do it. Thanks for tuning in. I've got a great episode for you today with a special guest, Natalie Pierson, founder of Integrated Forms based out of Brooklyn, New York. Integrated Forms supports others to transform the way they feel in their body and to become more empowered to live a life with more joy. It's my kind of company, right? 10 years experience in fitness, yogic wellness, and healing arts. She considers herself a movement muse, an energy enhancer, and a bridge for others to help accelerate their body connection and upgrade their healing intelligence.
Ooh, do you like that one?
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Her deep spiritual touch and sessions have supported nationally ranked athletes, Grammy-nominated artists, healers, mothers, and those that desire to feel better, move better, and live lighter. I told you it's going to be a big episode.
I'm
right?
already just feeling so great. I'm feeling so grateful to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share of my life and myself, and just to be here with you.
Oh, this is going to be great. Yeah. You're my first guest, so we're taking it to another level right here. But before we get too deep on the conversation,
okay, because you can tell I want to go right in there.
But look, because this whole podcast is all about storytelling and conversation, right?
Yes.
So I want to tell a little story that'll help the listeners understand our connection.
Okay.
And then it'll set the tone for the conversation.
Okay, perfect.
All right? So we family and love, right? So your brother and my niece, my pal, they love each other so much they got married about 1.5 years ago. And before the wedding, they created some gatherings for the family and friends to get to know each other. And one such gathering was held at Fort Zachary Taylor, beautiful beach where the Gulf and Atlantic crash together. And there's also a place to swim, but also to get in the shade. There's beautiful pines and palms and all kind of landscape that have grown over the years. And one of my family members, I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want to put him on blast, but he came up to me and he was like, yo, who's that chick hugging the tree? And I looked over and it was you. And I'm like, yo, bro, that's no chick. That's a goddess right there. The family just got elevated, right? So, and what I mean by that is like, I didn't even know you that well then, but it was clear that we were dealing with somebody that vibed at a higher level, right? So, and that's just proven itself to be true the more I've gotten to know you over the last 1.5 years, following you on social media, participating in your workshops. You know, I did the sun salutations, as well as the goddess.
That's
2020, right? So I've seen your work. So I'm not just, it's not just family love, but it's real love. And I'm so excited for you to be here and to share your story and your beliefs in wellness and just help our audience to become healthier in mind, body, and spirit.
Amazing.
So, like I said, I hoped you laughed at that story.
Man, you really got me, because I had no clue that anybody, I mean, that makes sense that I did that, but because I still do that, let me tell you. But that's really sweet. I appreciate that. Thank you for seeing me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about you. Tell us about your journey from your decision to be healthy and for your personal choice and then to become a professional. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, great. So I would say, I was in the hospitality industry for about 10 years. So I was always in the service industry, and I did everything from like bussing tables, food running, expediting food, all of that stuff, right? And then when I moved to New York City, that was in 2006. My boyfriend at the time was working out at the gym, and I was like, okay, I think I want to get working out at the gym, but I wanted to be empowered. I didn't just want to be the girl on the cardio equipment, which is totally fine, but I also was like, I want to hire somebody and have them show me, how do I move my back muscles? How do I move, I want to be empowered.
Right.
So I hired them, and I think they planted some seeds in me. They even said, I think you should be a personal trainer. And I was like, okay. So that helped. Those seeds planted helped me, and then my partner's mother at the time, she influenced me to go back to school.
Okay.
So I went back to school at Brooklyn College, and I got the undergrad in exercise science. So I was just that kind of targeted myself. I said I want to learn more about nutrition and more about fitness and health. And then I got to learn about anatomy and physiology. I had several amazing professors, but one of them really stood out, really inspired me. And that got me into like, I learned Olympic weightlifting, and I was training with the athletes, and I was doing heavy lifts and kettlebells, kettlebells, those big things they swing around. Yeah. So I went from like that as my fitness and movement journey. Then I got to be a personal trainer. So for 2.5 years, I worked at a gym called Equinox, which is huge, in the city and like the East, in the East Coast. I was a personal trainer, and I helped people develop strength and conditioning and learn how to do some functional movement. So basically, learning how to do squats, but like doing squats is cool just to do squats, but how is it going to help you in the rest of your life? Right. So where's the squat movement pattern? Okay, it's when you sit down into a chair, it's when you get into your car, when you go to the bathroom. So learn how to strengthen, so it's kind of like helping people have that relationship to like, this can help your everyday life if you do these things,
Yeah, if you fall, how do you get
up? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like really, like it's simple, but it's really just a different way to think about it instead of just external. But so I really got on that journey of the fitness. I even entered a physique competition. So I even went up there, did the whole thing where you paint yourself orange, and you just stand up there and like flex and do these like ridiculous poses. But that was an experience, and I was able to do that because I didn't know anything about it, and I was able to just have an open mind and be like, all right, let's give it a shot, But that is something to be up there on stage and literally be judged like just for that external, just for that, right? So everything was kind of building up to me being hyper aware of myself in the mirrors and at the gym, and always trying to like sculpt everything, and it was very external. And I noticed like who I was attracting in my life at the time was also really appreciating me more for my external. Right. That's how I experienced it. And I was like, where's the soul in all of this? Like, where is the soul in my life? Where is the soul in where I'm working? I just needed something more was asking for me to like find it, Right. So a friend of mine, he came to work at the gym, and he had just come back from India, and he lived there for 3 years. And so he was like my brother, and I really looked up to him, and I felt a connection with him, and I was like, I'm gonna go to India one day.
Bucket list for me.
Yep. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, absolutely. we can hook you up and tell you, different places and things to do and see. So and then I met one of his teachers. His teacher came here to the States and did like a yoga tour through the States. I got to meet him, and I was like, oh, very like, when you meet these people that have a really strong energetic presence and how they carry themselves, and it's not how you carry yourself like a concerted effort. It's just very much like their presence changes you. And so that's, long story short, that's where I went to stay. I went to stay at an ashram. I left everything. I left my job, I left my apartment, I left, I just said I needed to get out of here. And I just knew that it was a spiritual calling to go to India and to just be there. And I didn't know what to expect.
Wow, that's big time. The word that keeps coming to mind is fearless.
Yeah.
That's brave. Yeah, being bold. I talked about that in my first episode. You got to be bold because you never know what you're going to miss, right?
Yeah.
Being bold and fearless to leave your family and, where you were from.
Everything that I knew, to leave my clients, to go for the unknown. And actually, I raised, some of my clients helped me. I was able to go, and all the training, a lot of the big trainings that I was able to go in was supported by clients and friends, and like, so I feel so supported through physical friends and just through spirit and listening, Right. So I went there in preparation. I did 6 months of yoga. So I was coming from fitness, right, and like the kind of muscle in the gym,
right.
And I was already weaving in meditation. I was already getting the message to sit and meditate. I was already getting into body work. So I have a few things that I was overlapping here actually before I went to India.
Okay.
I already learned how to do like Thai massage. So I was listening, this whole path. I was like, okay, what now? What do I do? And I really just kept following the signs. I couldn't have made any
universe.
I was listening to the universe. I was like literally reading a magazine or a newspaper, and it was like Thai massage. But like the things it said in it was like meditative, kind of like martial arts, very, you know what I mean, like rhythmic. It said all these things, and I kept that newspaper clipping for a while, and I would come back to it. So I was just paying attention to what kept calling for my attention, really, and I was like, okay, I got to learn that. And then I did it, and it just felt comfortable. It felt right. It felt where I was supposed to be. It felt natural.
So that's when you decided to create integrated forms?
Yeah, an integrated form happened. Yeah,
okay.
integrated form. So that happened basically when I returned from India.
All right.
Yeah, so I had come back, and actually, you know, when I was there, I just want to say one thing about that is my teacher said to let go of all expectations of my trip there. And I was there for 4 months. I wish I could have been there for 6. But he said to let go of any expectations. So I thought maybe I'll get yoga teacher certified, you know. But he said to let go, so I really let go of that. And then the universe led me to get it anyway somewhere else, with even like a whole nother situation I couldn't have even dreamed of. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I came back, and actually coming back is way harder. Coming back is hard, but like I integrated. It's my business name. So it's all about integration. You know, understanding the physical body is a combination of our emotions, our mind, our spirit, our thoughts, our beliefs. And we're made up of muscles and organs and all these physical things we can see and touch, but then also that we're mostly space.
Yeah, right? It's hard to even put your head there.
What?
Yeah.
Are we really here?
We don't have time for that conversation. So what kind of services do you offer at Integrated Form?
Yeah, okay, thank you. So right now it's interesting. So I'm doing a lot of virtual stuff, right? So I'm doing virtual classes, and thank you for participating. I taught a breath course, which is called pranayama. So I taught a 7-day course for that. I teach classes on a weekly basis. So I teach kind of restorative stretch classes, just ways to help people get into their body, relax, breathe, come back to the present moment. Those are things that I really like doing. But then I do hands-on body work as well. So as soon as we get things going and I can get my hands on people again, I combine Thai massage and Reiki, some structural integrative work too. So it's really stuff that helps people to feel more aligned, more relaxed in their body, more centered, and you know, healing touch is so huge. You know, none of us would really thrive or be alive if a baby doesn't get touched, if we don't get touched. So I love doing that work too.
I think that's one of the things that we're missing so much right now is touch, and being able to offer a hug or a handshake or, you know, fist bump. So many people are, you know, missing that right now. So hopefully they'll feel the love in this episode, right? And we'll give them,
because you're a hugger too, aren't you?
Yeah. I like a good hug.
I know you are a good hugger.
I don't want a fake hug though.
No,
you know?
we're the same.
Yeah,
you're
a good hugger.
I get it. I'm such a good hugger. I have people write me still and say, "Man, that hug."
All right, I was gonna get to this in a minute when we're talking about spiritual wellness, but since we're talking about hugs, let's just stay right there for a minute, because when you
do you want to hug? Should we hug?
I think we should hug right now, right? I don't know if they're gonna mess up the mic.
No. And you know we can do it on the heart side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you do heart to heart, take a breath. When people get to have these hugs, it's so healing. Yeah. It releases positive, feel-good hormones that we all need.
When thank you. I was going to say, when you hug, it's like being home. You know, because you give good hugs. I didn't even know to go to the heart side. So that's my thing now. I'm going in. Just go right in. Don't come with me this way. I'm gonna give you now. I'm gonna give you a heart hug. But thank you for that.
Thank you.
I think, all right, here we go. I want to talk a little bit more about the body, because when we talk about wellness, that's definitely the first thing everybody thinks about is body. How are we well in our body? Besides some of the moves that you've talked about with the body, one of the things I noticed in your online offerings, and I don't call your work your post just post. You know, I feel like you're offering a practice to someone. So one of the things I notice is you're real creative with your workouts.
Oh, thank you.
Know? So and it's just and you dance a lot. You move. It doesn't have to be structured in a class to move. So talk a little bit about just moving freely and just moving your body.
I'm so grateful that you're asking this. Truly, this is something I've been thinking about a lot. And I think it's really important. I've never even really heard anybody else say this just yet, but I'm calling it sort of like yang movements and yin movements. So to me, yang movements are the structured, organized, okay, do this where your body moves in this way. Do a squat, do this, your arms go this way. That's more organized, like kind of left brain. What I feel that a lot of people need is more freedom in their body and to move in a more yin way, which to me, I'm just saying that as a way of being more free. There's no organization, there's no known to where it's going to go, and those types of movements can also, if it's all connected, if our mind, our emotions, and our body are connected. So if I'm always kind of rigid and always controlled in my movement, that can reflect in the mind and vice versa. Interesting, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I love being creative. I think now is a really important time to be creative and to be adaptive to your home environment, because you can move on anything. You don't need to have the fancy equipment. You don't need to have the fancy outfits. Right now, we could do some incline push-ups on this table. Do you know what I mean? You could even do... I'm not going to test you.
This is going to be a 3-part series.
We're going to work you up.
Okay, all right.
I believe in you.
I'm getting nervous here.
Sweating. No.
Getting a hive.
But just to be creative with your environment,
right.
We could do some dips on the chair. I'm outside near my house doing a little workout, and I love it because there's no, everything is not, the machines of the gym are great. Mm-hmm. But it only moves you in kind of like one plane of motion. And it's really important to move in multiple planes, to move your body in different directions. And you really, just to get everything open in the body.
And to have fun. And
to be, because it opens you up. You're like, oh, I'm doing something different. And I feel like something happens when you aren't doing your normal routine. So it's really, I'm glad that we've been shaken up in that sense. I'm glad that we've been shaken up to break our habits and our routines, and we've been challenged. We've been invited to be creative, I think, and to adapt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Sleep. Sleep is important. I know if I don't get enough sleep, my back hurts.
Yep.
I start feeling it.
Yep.
What would you tell the listeners about sleep?
I mean, that's everything. Imagine it's your whole body. It's when your body repairs itself deeply. So it's just like you need that rest, and then if possible, you need quiet rest. I live in New York City. Like I said, I live in Brooklyn. A lot of places, they've got too much light now. The street lights, the noises, and cell phones and things like that. So you really want to limit yourself. You really want to clear out your space from anything that's going to interfere with your sleep pattern. So I want to say that. And then for me, everybody's different. Some people could sleep on 4 hours a night. Some people need 9. Right. I need about 7, I noticed. Yeah. If I don't have my 7, I'm different.
Yeah, 7.
What about you? What's yours?
What's your sweet spot? 7's a good number.
It's a good number for you?
Yeah. And a routine.
Yeah.
I like to go to sleep around the same time, wake up the same time, and ease into the morning. I'm in bed at 10.
At 10.
And I'm usually sleeping before 10:30.
Good for you.
I fall asleep to a meditation, and if I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
But
do you fall asleep pretty easily?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Me too.
I put it on more as a habit.
Yeah.
I know I'm not gonna make it through it.
Right.
It's a good way. It's a good way to fall asleep.
That's a great way.
Let's talk about nutrition, because we've been talking about the body, but how we fuel our body is so important.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on nutrition, organic foods?
Yep.
Those, tell us.
Yeah. I want to say this. I think this is really important. I don't know. I'm sure there are other people talking about this, but eating less. It's best to eat less. Our body actually thrives more. We are energy. Mm-hmm. Our body is energy. So sometimes we've just got ourselves in habits of eating like so many meals a day, and that's okay. I'm not dissing or hating on anything. I just want to make that clear. But I do want to say that I've personally experienced, and I've read more about actually eating less, intermittent fasting, right? All these things. And why? Because it boosts our immunity. It boosts our system. So when we're putting so much in our system, then our immune, we have to work harder to process our food rather than just like be alive. So for me, I say I eat less. I eat like one solid meal, like 1.5 a day. That works for me. I eat as organic as possible. And I would say that I get greens, and I get every day I got a smoothie. I love my smoothie, and I use coconut water in that thing. It's so good.
Have you had a fresh coconut since you've been here?
No, I haven't.
Oh, we gotta
get
climb
one.
a tree.
Okay,
We're
gonna do it. We'll climb a tree. We'll
I know
meditate.
you can hug a tree.
We're gonna hug
climb a
tree. So yes, I just want to say, keep it simple. Less is more. Less sugars, and less artificial products. Food products, our body isn't made for food products. We're organic being, we're organic vessels. So the more organic that we can use, our body knows what to do with that, and we're gonna feel better. And you have better energy. When you have better energy, you're less stuffed and you feel more of your life force energy.
Right.
And that's what I want to help people tap into.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, so we got the body covered.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the mental health, right? Having a strong mind. For me, I see my mind as a vehicle for my thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And what we tell ourselves goes right to our body and right to the spirit, In a recent newsletter, because I subscribe to your newsletter also, I think it was a week or so ago, maybe not so long.
Yeah.
You asked a really rich question. You said, how does the quality of your mind feel?
Ooh.
And I was like, I know, it's a good
stuff
question,
comes
right?
out. I don't even know.
I was like, wow.
It just comes on out.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
And so the quality of your mind. So where to be at the highest level, where do we need to be, and what are some practices to have a healthy mind?
Yeah, that relationship is so deep and so important. If the mind is everything, there's a book called the KYBALION, KYBALION, I believe.
We'll put a link in the episode book. Details.
Awesome. And the first law is a law of mentalism, and it's just understanding that the mind is all. So our brain is not our mind, but our brain, as I understand it, is a channel, is a vessel, is a magnet. So we can tune into different things, right? So if we think of our brain as like a frequency emitter, we can attract more of the things that we like, the thoughts, and then we can transmit them out. So, this has been interesting because I feel like I've been struggling too, and that's something that I wanted to share as well. I want to be really real. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be like I'm perfect every day and I'm always the same. That's not. I'm definitely not here to try to say that. I'm saying keep it real. I'm saying these practices help me. These practices help us. Breath, getting in our bodies, because when we're too in our heads, that's the other thing too. It's like the energy's all up here, and we need to like come in and down, right? And then when we're in here, we're more in the present moment. But you're right, thoughts are everything, our intention. I think what's helped me, just to simplify it, is having an intention for the day. First thing in the day, just how do I want to feel at the end of today? Right? Like, and I start to charge that up, because some people can really maybe visualize it. Some people can feel it. We all work differently. So I just want to say that as well. Like, we all have different ways in which we feel our reality and create things. So for me, I can really start to charge it up by feeling it in my body. And I'm like, okay, yeah, when I lay down tonight, I want to feel like that. See? So that helps me, So no matter what happens today, in this day, I'm going to choose my breath. No matter what happens today, I'll choose. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so those things help me. I think the awareness, just in general for everybody to step outside of themselves a little bit more and to gain more awareness. Notice your thinking. Oh, I'm in thinking, thoughts are happening. Or just notice how you start to perceive or think about somebody else, right? And you're just like, Krishnamurti, Jiddu, I don't know how to say his first name, but Krishnamurti, I don't know if you know of him. I'm going to turn you on to him too. Had a really powerful quote, and it was just like the highest, basically having no judgment over your awareness. Let me summarize it, paraphrase it, chop it up, re-put it back together. But it's like the highest form of intelligence is not judging your awareness. And I think that's something I've struggled with. Right? And I think a lot of people might struggle with that, struggle with their own thoughts, struggle with thinking they're good or bad. These are bad thoughts, good thoughts, and get confused. And you can get grappled in your own inner conflict with that, And depends on how you were raised. Like religion and certain things can really formulate how you're perceiving your reality. And I think this is another invitation for us to really start to open up and to be like, wow, what have I been thinking? What have I been believing? And really expand our minds.
Right. And what have we been hearing? Other people's stories on us, and the stories we've been just retelling, And I always like to think that I can start a new story every day.
I love that.
So.
Yeah. And you can feel that being around you. It really is a joy. Because how else are you going to be in joy? Joy. Truly.
Thank you.
You are such a light.
But I'm practicing.
You are.
I'm learning, and meditation has helped me. I've been practicing meditation for 2 years, and every day it's a struggle, right? But that's part of the lesson, is learning to restart and being okay with restarting. But it's helped me to recognize my thoughts and where my actions.
Right.
Why am I feeling angry? Why did I answer that way? Why do I feel like I want to have some French fries or something like that?
The whole thing.
Just starting to recognizing the thoughts and not judging myself for it, but just saying, oh, you're feeling that way because this happened or whatever. So just being able to recognize your actions, your thoughts, and how they impact the actions.
And that reminds me, as we're talking about this too, like it's a lot of, some people talk about shadow work. I don't know if just like sort of all the other thought, maybe shadow work to somebody could be the thoughts that they think are negative or bad, or aspects of ourselves that are repressed, right? So I think this is really big. And another teacher that's really helped me and helped a lot of my friends that I know, his name's Matt Kahn. And maybe we'll throw a link in there too. We're gonna just blast everybody with all this stuff. And if you resonate, cool. And that's a thing too. I just want to say, at first when I saw him back in the day, I was like, when somebody has a whole new perspective on something, your brain's like, I don't know about this. But then it's like, oh, thank God for this whole new perspective. So anyway, he is so wonderful and so heart-centered. And the work that we're talking about right now in terms of just our awareness and not judging it, he really, I'm doing this because it's kind of like accepting everything that arises. It's like, okay, this can be here. The part that's jealous, the part that's judging, even the part that's judging can be here.
Right.
That's the funny one.
Yeah.
Even the critic. Oh, you want to be a critic? Okay, you can be here.
Yeah.
And his practice that he offers is, I love you. And it's a self-practice, I love you. Just reminding yourself that I love you. So anyway, I love you. I love you.
I love you. All right. Oh man, we're gonna have to do more than one episode.
Okay, cool.
Because I think the sun's going down.
How long was this?
We've got to take a look. We're all right. We're right around 29 minutes. We might want to check the video.
Perfect.
Let's take a pause.
All right.
All right.
Nice.
All right. So we took a quick pause. We've talked about body. We've talked about mind. We know that we're going to have another episode or 2 or 3 because there's too much good stuff here. I knew this was going to be great. Let's talk about the spiritual health though, right? Because to me that's a big part of wellness. I used to think wellness was only about the body and how much I weighed and that sort of thing. And through my work with my life coach, I've learned that it's much more than that, right? So mind, body, and spirit. So when we talk about spiritual health, for me, what I've learned is that we're connected to all beings, right? That we're all connected. And that's knowing that and living that life where you recognize that, to me, that's spiritually healthy. What are your thoughts on that?
I love that. I think that's beautiful. I think you're right on point. I almost feel like there's really nothing else to say about it. But I mean, what else could I say? Yeah.
I think it's this time right now that's been so trying for us. Over the last few months with the pandemic and these things that are happening and causing a shift in people's routines, and we're isolated from each other. We may feel that we're not connected,
right?
But that's a time to get out in nature and know we're not only connected to human beings, right? But to nature.
Yes.
That's why we take time to hug a tree.
Yes, we do.
Right?
Yes.
And that so. But
they say trees too are the wisest beings on earth.
Yeah.
And the ancient ones.
The tree of life.
The single-legged. Some of the shaman, they have different ways of relating to nature and different animals and things like that, and the elements. I think one thing that I do want to say is just that what if everything was sacred? You know, or to create sacredness, what's really important is to create sacredness in your life and in your day-to-day. Because it's really, we repeat the same things over and over again.
Right.
But how the intention that we can bring into things, and I think the appreciation, you know, for things. But for me, I mean, my like spiritual practice, you know, I was sitting to meditate every day, and I had an altar. You know, I had a huge altar. My friends were like, I had a couple friends that were like, do you know, Natalie, that not everybody and I'm like does this? And I'm like, no, like a huge like double layer, like ridiculous, like crystals and frame. You don't have to have what anybody else has. You can have whatever is meaningful to you. That's what I want to say and emphasize. But I think the importance of sitting down with myself every day, sitting down with oneself every day, even for a few minutes, just to pause and breathe and just to be with yourself, be in silence. I think that's deeply spiritual. That can be the spiritual practice. Just be.
Yeah, just be. We always want to force something else into it, right? There's a responsibility in being connected, though. And,
yes.
You know, I think it's important to. That's sacred. Is knowing that if something I do is going to have an impact on somebody else, and that helps you, helps me stay grounded and know that it's not just about me, because sometimes we don't value ourselves enough, right? So sometimes, you know, just being mindful that my actions are going to have an effect on other people.
Exactly. I love that. And you know, as you say that too, I was just looking up. So the first meditate, like when I first got into meditating, I tried, I got into Tibetan Buddhist meditation, right? In Tibetan Buddhist meditation, a lot of them are like meditating on death, meditating on the impermanence of death, impermanence of life, meditating that everybody's your mother. So I love what you just said, and I want to tie that in. So it's like the interconnectedness of every being, right? So we could go and try to like have it scientifically prove this, or we could just feel into it, like how would I change? How would I be different if I did see you as or a part of one another, or connected? Right. And what if, you know, the Buddhist, you know, not everybody believes in this, but if you believe in reincarnation, or if you believe in that type of thing, then maybe more people have been your mother. So what if somebody else is your mother, and all beings are your mother, is one perspective that they take on. So, okay, we don't necessarily need to say, oh, is that true? I don't know, let me look that up. But we could just, what would that, how would you behave if that were true?
Right.
Right? If everyone's your brother or sister,
right, how
would you behave?
Just like how would you live today if you knew it was your last day, right?
Woo.
It's the same thing. Ooh-wee.
Man. I would just want to do more podcasts with you. I would just want to keep going, Joy.
Just leave it right there. Yeah. All right. So we talked a little bit about your altar, and you're starting your day with an intention.
Yeah.
But what does your morning ritual look like? Because I know for me, it's important for me. You know, we talked about my routine, going to sleep at the same time, waking up at the same time.
Yes.
That whole thing. So I have a bit of a morning ritual. Do you?
Yeah, I do. And mine has actually changed a little bit. It's like I've turned a little bit, which that's part of the practice too, is allowing some of those corners to be made. I found, right? Because if I'm like, I always need to do my practice everywhere I go, and if I don't do it, then I'm like freaking out. Do you know what I mean? Then that's perfect. That's part of the practice too. So in the past, like 4 to 5 months, my practice is I wake up, I drink a big glass of water first thing. Drink a big glass of water. Fill and nourish the organs, the inside, right? Flush everything out. And then but before I get out of bed, I think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. So I want to start that day with gratitude. And some days might feel easier than others. You know, some days I'm just like, all right, I'm thankful for my breath. I'm thankful for my bed. And then I go outside and I go for a 6-mile bike ride. That's my latest. And on that bike ride, I'm just like charging up my spirit. I'm breathing. I'm listening to my music. And I'm just getting myself just really uplifted for my day. So that's my current one. If you asked me even a year ago, it's very different. I'd be sitting for a lot longer. I'd be doing a different meditation and more breath. but I come back after that practice and I do more. But anyway, I get out now and I just ride that bike and I just get in my zone.
So we should probably, because I'm very structured.
Yeah.
You know, but I like the idea of being loose with it.
I mean, it took some time to
maybe I should change the word from ritual, because just the word ritual makes me feel like it needs to be a certain way. So I'll think about that one.
Yeah. But also, don't change what works.
That's true. That's true, right?
We don't exactly.
Let's talk about a little bit about what's happening in the world right now. My last podcast, I talked about a revolution against racism, and to me, part of that, and part of what is included in that revolution, is for white people to recognize our privilege.
Yeah.
And how do we use that privilege to support others, people of color? Do you believe that there's privilege in the wellness community?
Yes. Yes, I do.
And how do we?
How do we go? Of course there is. Yeah, of course there is, and it's unfolding right now. And actually, I'm going to be on a call tomorrow with somebody who's actually going to teach us some more about this. So maybe on the next one, I can really give you some more in depth of experience of going through kind of more of like a training of that, But definitely, I mean, I've been fortunate to have the life that I have, to be able to travel, to go to other countries, and to even learn this stuff that somebody else wouldn't have the privilege to do. So I think there's a lot of privilege, and of course it trickles down to the wellness community, and the yoga community, and more people are really opening up their minds to this, and understanding like what can we do to play a role in that, to be an ally, or one thing that I did was to direct some proceeds to some of the courses to certain funds, to certain people that were empowering the people of color, our other communities as well, that were for empowerment and education.
I like that. There are all kind of ways that we can help. There's I took a course. There's a teacher named Michelle Johnson.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with her work. She has a book out that talks about skill in action, and how to change our privilege and shift so that everyone can benefit from wellness.
Yeah. And
one of the ways she suggested is through that, making sure that other people can afford to take a class and that sort of thing. So
that's, I mean, I would say like even like the rates, and it's just like understanding, also like having the understanding of how important that is, and like people of color there's so much like systematically like less pay, less opportunities, and it's just a whole trickle-down effect. So that's a big one.
Another reason
to have
another episode.
Yeah,
we could talk about that more. All right, here's a good one.
Okay.
We can have some fun with this one.
Okay.
It's so important for the world to be healthy right now, right?
Yes.
And so if you were given the title to the wellness guru, to make the world well, what would be the first thing that you started everybody with? What's the first thing you would teach? Gonna make the world well. It's the first thing everybody needs to know.
It's gonna be how to breathe with your diaphragm.
There you go. All right.
Yep. Starts right here inside. Literally with your diaphragm.
My coach would like that, because she's always telling me that's a strong muscle. You gotta use that muscle.
Yep.
Yeah, so
and I'm going to lead us into a little breath meditation later, and I'm going to use that.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So you're an aunt like I am,
yes.
And I think you have like 6 nieces and nephews, maybe a couple more on the way.
7 and 8 are on the way.
All right. So it's so important for young people to learn about exercise and nutrition, and all the things that we're talking about, and emotional health as well, right?
Yeah.
So what do you hope that your nieces and nephew learn early about wellness that maybe you didn't know?
Yeah, I mean, I think really I should be asking them. Let me turn it over to them, because because really they're the ones that keep playing. They're the ones that are moving in their body all day long. They're the ones that are laughing, that are expressing their emotions. They're like, crying, and then the next minute they're laughing, and you can hug them, So I think they really teach us, and I think that, we get old and we age as adults because we stop moving. We feel like I'm getting old like an adult because we just stop moving and stop playing. And so they teach us. But I want to say too, man, it was such a beautiful memory. My nieces and nephews have really allowed me to even give them some body work and energy work. And I remember my Christina and Tony, their two boys, when they were younger, I went over to their house. It was winter time. They live in Michigan, so I visit like once or twice a year. And, they had never really done this, but all of a sudden they were laying there super still and quiet, just like laying there in Shavasana, and I'm doing some like energy work or massage, and they were just laying there quiet, and they were like, what's Aunt Natalie doing to our kids? No, but like, they were like, wow, you really, there's something there. So I appreciate that the kids just know, they're intuitive, and they just, relax and allow me to share and connect in the way that I love to connect with people.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Okay.
Girls and boys, would you teach the girls anything about health different than boys?
Oh, that's a cool question.
I thought it was a good one.
It's so interesting.
Maybe not.
I know.
Just curious.
I've never thought about that as a young age. Now, one thing that I would like to teach kids that are a little bit older would be more of their anatomy. And teach about their bodies and also even their sexual anatomy. That's another thing that I actually did get certified in, was Taoist and Tantric practices for sacred sexuality. So just as like a side note, that's a whole nother podcast as well. Right. But really sexual health, because we all come from that energy, and sexual energy is our life force energy. It's another way to say it. Chi, prana, life force, kundalini, shakti. Different words from different places and times, right? But it's a powerful energy, and I think to teach kids to respect themselves, to respect their bodies, and to treat it as sacred, because now, and even through my own upbringing, you're just like, oh, whatever, give it away, or not even just sexually, but just like your body, like, human life really doesn't seem to be valued so much. So I think the more that we can really bring that, and it starts with our own selves, like, wow, this is precious, this is sacred, and so to teach all of them to maybe just respect themselves and to respect their bodies.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't even, it's certainly not taught in school to that level, much less discuss. It's hard to discuss in families or in schools anyway, so where do they
learn?
We all just like all of us, right?
Yeah, we're learning through crazy experiences. We're learning through like some horrible, really intense or bad or negative situations, and had we been educated, or had we been, what I mean, just things be communicated more. But everything, it's, I understand it's tough to talk about certain things, or if the parent doesn't know, then who where do they feel safe talking about that? So I would like to be a part of creating a curriculum. Anybody out there wants
there you go.
support, I would like to help teach the kids, future generations, so they don't really have to go through a lot of things that we all went through.
Be so uncomfortable about something that we should,
or their own body, just feeling uncomfortable in their body,
Yeah, for sure. Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if I answered your question, but I just took it to
you took it to the next level. That's it. What would you tell your ego about wellness?
I love you. What would I tell my ego about wellness?
I know for me, sometimes I have to tell my ego to step aside, because I'm hard on myself. If my coach is trying to teach me a new move or something like that, if I don't get it right away, I shut down. So sometimes I just have to tell my ego, you need to leave. You're getting in the way. This is not about. It's not about you.
I think that's that is the first thing that came to mind. Is it's not about you. And then the second thing that came to mind is like this duality between, there's a voice that has actually the voice that's tried to keep me real safe of the ego, and like essentially kind of held me back, is like me believing this voice that's like, it'll whisper. It's like, they already know what you need to tell them. What do you got to say? They already know. It's like, what? Like, you just ruined my whole game. Like, I was just doing all these things, and now you're telling me that it's meaningless. You know what I mean? So it's like,
doubt.
Exactly. And then the more, when I connect to people that are really like, thank you, it's like things that I take for granted too. Because I've studied lots of different things or been in different practices or whatever, but it's like really coming back to the most simple, fundamental things that can help somebody. So I think, get out the way.
That's it. You gotta go. Sometimes it's good though, So it's all right because you get built up.
Exactly.
Like when I make all those shots in a row,
I've seen you making those shots.
It's okay to get a little bit ramped up.
Of course,
right. Your ego's not all bad.
I agree.
It needs to be there, but you just have to know.
To know when. Yeah. You're gonna be like, good ego, you're so good. Yeah. You did a good job.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm a sucker for inspiration. I'm inspired every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes from a message that I'll see on social media, even those little messages on a tea bag.
Oh my gosh.
And I just discovered those recently. Nature.
Yes.
Recently, activists. Seeing the work that's being done out there.
Cool.
How much knowledge they have and strength they have to stand up and stand with their convictions. Especially people that are grinding and doing real work and being real.
Yeah.
Who inspires you?
Who inspires me?
Yeah. Or what inspires you?
What inspires me? Yeah. I would also say nature inspires me. Just like literally just being in the park, being in the elements. When I'm in that free open space, then that's when I'm open to like new ideas or something. I get aha moments, I love music, but I really love reggae. I love reggae music. I love beat. I love music that gets my body just, it's natural. Just my body wants to move to that beat or whatever, it's just like, so that inspires me and I just feel uplifted. I feel my heart gets opened, and I really like those types of things because the music has a nice beat, but there's a deep message. And there's a deep respect and love and appreciation for God, for Creator, for Source, whatever you want to say. It's like, it's returning that gratitude to that. So I resonate with that. And so I really appreciate that music that can bring it back. You know what I mean? To home.
Yeah, for sure.
To home.
You know who I rediscovered the last couple of weekends? I've been listening to Stevie Wonder.
Oh
man, talk about inspiring.
What are you playing?
I have it on, Essentials.
Yeah.
So all the best.
What is it? Songs in the Key of Life.
Yeah,
is that what
that's the one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I was dancing with the dog in the kitchen yesterday.
That's the best.
It's like, man, you got to get up.
You got to get up. You got to get up and dance. Just turn on a song, even if you. That was a powerful practice too. Even if you don't feel like dancing, just to turn on the music and then dance like you don't want to dance. That's fine. Be like, I hate this right now. This is so stupid. And then, something might change, and then you might start to shift your energy. Next thing you know, you're smiling. You're dancing with the tree. So anything. I think the important thing is to know what shifts your energy. To know what little things, what can be small or big, whatever it is. Putting on like a new pair of socks. If that makes you happy, do that. If that changes your frequency or your emotional state. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Creativity is another one that is a good shift for me. I know when I'm in a creative space, for me that means writing.
Yeah.
That's when I'm most present.
Right.
So what are your creative outlets?
Oh, I love that. It's exactly what we were just talking about. Dancing, moving in my body, which makes sense. But I notice if I'm with friends, if I'm with other people too, and I notice myself, I literally just start kind of like moving or dancing around or being like free. I'll literally just do stuff like this. It's like, this is just what my body wants to do, so I just have to accept it. So I'm doing these little things and I'm like, I guess I'm happy. Like my body's like, hey, we're happy. Right. So dancing feels really good, moving in my body like that. Singing, I love to sing. I love spoken word. There's a lot of songs that I say came through me. I don't say that I necessarily wrote them, but I was open channel, an open vessel for lyrics and songs to come through me.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I like it.
We can have another podcast. No, but I would love to share them with you sometime.
Yeah. Sounds good. We'll do it. What I guess that answers the question on what brings you joy too, right?
And riding my bike. Riding my bike brings me joy. Deeply connecting with people.
I gotta ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll post your videos riding your bike. You paying attention while you riding your bike? Are you holding your phone or do you have it attached?
I'm trusting.
Because I'm
trusting.
Wait a minute.
Oh no, I'm holding it.
Yeah,
I'm holding it.
We gotta talk about
I
that.
know. Does it scare you?
Yes, sometimes.
Oh, you're like, she needs to be safer, and I'm not wearing a helmet.
No, I'm
wearing
like,
helmets, people. No, but I go in the early morning when there's less people and they'll be there. So that's why I feel a little safe. If it was a lot of people around me, I wouldn't be doing that. But still, I appreciate you caring for me.
Well, that's the nurture in me. All right, here's some random questions, a little more lighthearted.
Okay.
All right, what's something that you learned recently? I thought that was gonna be a light.
No, it's not gonna be. Okay, let me keep it simple. How about that?
All
I'm
right.
a Scorpio. I'm just like, sometimes, thank you. Keep it light, because sometimes we're like, let me dive down into the depths of my soul to bring
maybe something outside outside of the wellness.
Thank you. I learned that it's really good to change up what you're cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They have a recipe booklet and they've got these meals, and I love just like, oh, cool, something different. Right. That was nice. Change up the meals.
I saw you mixing cement and laying tile.
That was fun.
Did you already know how to do that?
Yeah. Working with Marky before, working for a landscaping company, I learned how to lay bricks. I learned how to use the wet saw. I learned how to use drive a dump truck. I got a license to drive a trailer at one point too. So I really held it down with that too.
All right. Yeah. Cool. Good stuff. Do you have a mantra?
I do. I can't tell you. No, just kidding. No. Well, I can tell you. No, I can tell you. I was sort of given two. I was given two while I was in India, and one of them is basically about surrender. I can tell you the themes of it. I feel comfortable with that. It's cool. Okay. One of them is about surrender. Just like it's a mantra about surrender, which is a big one. For someone like me that likes to try to control or thinks it can control a lot of things. So surrender is good for me.
All right. Yeah. I like that. Should we all have a mantra?
I think it's important to have something to come back to.
Okay.
I think it's important to have a little something you can add, an anchor. Right. An anchor. Maybe a hypnotherapist or somebody else might reference it as an anchor. Okay. So something you can always come back to in your mind, like whether it even could be an affirmation, like I am peace. I am love. When you forget, right, I think it's important to come back. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Do you listen to any podcasts that the rest of us should be listening to?
I don't right now.
Okay.
I don't, yeah.
You're going to
But
start?
I mean, listen to the joy!
I was going to say.
I've heard, actually, I have heard yours.
Easy
I actually have heard yours, and I have listened to yours, and I will continue to listen to yours. I love listening to you speak. I love your perspective. I love what you bring. I love what you share. I love your light. I feel like you have really deep, wise, simple messages that everybody can benefit. All sorts of beings.
That's it.
Joy.
What we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do. I like to listen to Daily STOIC. That's one that I just heard, and there's this 3-minute little thought bombs. And my friend, another Key West guy, just started.
What do you call it? Conks.
Yeah, Conks.
Yeah. Another Key Westerners.
Key Westerner. Another Conk just started a podcast called The Real Words of Wisdom. So he's just got a couple episodes out, but I'm gonna
check that out.
Keep following him out there. DP Photography.
I'm just gonna get filled up with my joy.
There you go. What do you tell yourself when you need to be checked?
Oh, when I tell myself to be checked.
When you need
that
to reboot.
That is so important.
Right?
That is so key, man.
I'm just checking the time. Man.
I really just I just check myself. I just take a deep breath. And I'll notice I don't have an anchor, but I think I need an anchor. I think I need to have one. So this conversation's gonna. But I really just I check myself. I listen. I take a breath. I step back, and I just noticing where I'm coming from, and then I can check that. Oh, okay. You were trying to go for something there. You were trying to get something, or you were grasping for something, or you were trying to prove you were right. You know what I mean? So just and I'll acknowledging it with the person too, like. Whether it be directly or just through giving space.
Right.
That's a powerful one too.
Yeah, that's a good one. Knowing when to back off.
Yeah.
Knowing when we need space, but also when others need space.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm going to say one word. And I want you to tell me what comes to mind.
Okay.
I was gonna start with ego, but let's forget ego.
Okay.
We've talked enough about ego.
Well, the first word that I was just gonna say intuitively was garbage pail.
Hey, I'm doing the interview here.
No, like it was like already intuitive. I was like, okay.
All right. Fear.
And loathing.
Freedom.
Bliss.
Love.
Now.
Ooh. That was a good one. Very good. What projects are you working on right now? What do we need to tell people about integrated form? I know you may have an offer.
Yes.
So
yes.
talk to us
Well, I've got
about
a couple things.
catching the vibe.
Thank you. Yes. So I've got a free gift for anybody that's tuning in. It's called the 5 Steps to Accelerate Your Healing Now Without Spending a Dime. So it's a free thing that I made up. It's 5 steps, and it's about catching a vibe. So it's about affirmations. It's about using visualization, your imagination, breath, and your environment. And kind of altering those things. So it's a free gift. We'll link them. We'll give them the PDF download. Yeah? Okay, great. And then the other thing that I'm working on right now is essentially a culmination of the last 10 years of all my experiences. It's called the Body 5D. So it's going to be all these different videos. It's going to help people learn beginner breath techniques, meditation. We're going to have some yoga sequencing in there, some sun salutations, some qigong. It's all about having external and internal fitness. So there's a lot of new things that I've been learning about your organs and learning about like sound healing and how we can clear emotions and stuck energy from inside the body, right? So if our organs, just as a side note too, our organs are connected to our subtle energy centers, our chakras,
right.
You know, some people say. So those are your power centers. That's also known as power centers. So your organs are our power centers. So we want to learn how to like heal those, nourish those, and then that actually gives the vitality to the rest of the body. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited about teaching and sharing more of this information, reaching more people that want to have health and fitness from the outside in.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And
the Body 5D.
The Body 5D with Natalie.
Yes, with Natalie. Thank you.
I like that. That and clients can connect with you remotely. They don't have to be in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
Right.
We are Zoom friendly. So we could do breath, meditation, movement. We can do some fitness, yoga, all these things. We can really just talk. And I really like to meet people where they are. So you could be a brand new baby beginner and you're really curious and you're open though, and I'll work with you. Or you could kind of be in there a little bit more. You want to develop yourself for certain practices. So I'll help you gain tools and techniques to essentially help to resource yourself, to feel more free in your body, to feel more connected. So you can do Zoom calls. Then I have weekly classes. So I'm at a spot called frequencymind.com. They've got great practitioners and great classes, a lot of breath work, a lot of connective practices. So I teach with them twice a week, and it's more of a restorative class. It's like a stretch and breath class. So it's called Breath is a Full Body Stretch, which I love. They're like so cute. So classes, private sessions for sure. And then stay tuned for the Body 5D with Natalie for sure.
I definitely recommend anyone out there that's looking to get started with a wellness program to hire a professional.
Yeah.
You know, I mentioned I have a coach. I've taken your workshops. Yeah. It's like anything else, your finances or anything else you don't know, you know, and there's people out there that know, and it really, I've used the word elevated probably too many times, but it takes things to the next level for us. So I would definitely say that I wouldn't have been where I am now without the help of a coach and working with your workshops and things like that.
Yeah.
So anybody listening, invest in yourself, you know, and hire a professional.
I agree.
There's you know, like you said, you have all kind of services, you know, from one workshop to, you know, body work, whatever it can be.
Yep.
But you won't regret the time that you invest in yourself. So what should people look for in a coach though, you know, working with a professional like you? What's the connection need to be?
Yeah, I like that. For me, I mean, the way that I work is usually pretty intuitive and like I said, feeling based. So it's kind of like, I'll just be drawn towards somebody or something, right. But not everybody works that way. Sometimes it's a lot of research, or, you know, you're really trying to find somebody who's going to have what you need. But I think it depends on your goals. You know, what are you looking for? I mean, if you just want somebody who's going to be fitness, then you want to look up what type of, you know, like what type of movement patterns and fitness do you want to be a part of? Because there's lots of different trainers out there now, for example, right? If we're just talking about the body.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think that's one of the things that sets you apart from some of those other trainers, right?
Yeah.
Is you've got a wide range of skill. Right?
But I mean, I'm not the person now that if you're like trying to, you know, if you're trying to reach your like 1 rep max and you're trying to like lift 450 pounds, I'm not that person, and I'm okay with that. Right. That's cool. I'm like, that person's probably not listening to this podcast. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
One of you
not
out
yet.
there. Not yet. So yeah, I mean, I honestly, I think it's just about, for me, it's like, it just, and for other people, I think if you resonate, there's a resonance, you respect them, you look to them, you see how they're living, see how they look, see how they, and not just look externally, but like really get a sense of what kind of person they are. Right. Do you know what I mean? Because some people have a lot of skills too, and they've been certified and trained in a lot of things, but if they don't have the heart, if they can't connect, then it's like, might be a waste.
Feeling, trusting that intuition.
Yeah.
How it
trust yourself. I want everybody just to trust yourselves more. You know, trust their intuition, and listen, and you'll know. You know, it's like, we could tell you anything, but really, you have the power. And the more that each one of us, the more that we listen in our own way, then our lives, I think, make more sense. And I think they flow smoother when we listen to inside.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
Definitely.
Yeah. Do you have anybody what do you have to say? What's your experience?
Well, like I said, my experience was definitely to hire someone. I couldn't have done what I've done as far as with, you know, everything without hiring a coach. And yeah, being able to connect and trust that person and be able to be guided and let someone tell you.
Yeah,
you don't
totally.
know everything, and it's okay. You know, that's why you're working with someone. But trust is big. And
to be coachable.
You know, yeah.
To be coachable.
Asking for help is huge. You know, we all are so prideful.
I got it.
You know, yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
Walk the beach.
I'm good.
Yeah, you know, you can do all those things, but no, just going ahead and getting over the hump. I definitely say hire somebody, and you'll know if it's a good fit. Yeah. And the work that I do with my coach has all been remote, and we're like 2 years into it, and it works. But it's like with anything else, right? You have to put the work into it. It doesn't happen, and you'll need restarts and all that. But do it. If you're thinking about it, doing it. And stop thinking about it and just do it.
Exactly. And the body, the cool things too is like the brain has plasticity, right? And the body or connective tissue has plasticity. So it can change, it can morph, it can shape, right? So we have to give it the right input and the right stimulus. So you want to be around people, you want to be around somebody who's going to give your brain, help literally sculpt you. It's literally out changing your brain or literally changing your body, you know? And I love that about the body, that it can open more and more. And I believe that. I keep feeling better. I believe that I keep getting younger. I believe that, you know, and we got to say, you know, you say it and you believe it and you think it and drink it and everything. So all of that.
Remind everyone how to find you.
Oh, thank you. So my website is integratedform.com, INTEGRATED form.com, integrated form. I'm also on social media. I'm on Instagram at integrated.form. And my email, do you want me to say my email or do you want to plug it in?
Well, we'll plug it in.
Yeah, cool. So basically, website, boom, social media. That's it.
So Natalie Pierson, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Joy.
Yeah, thank you. This has been really, really good.
Thank you.
I'm glad we did it.
It was my honor.
I knew.
I don't want to stop. I just want to spend more time with you.
We'll do it again.
Let's go hug some trees.
All right, but first, we gotta wrap this up, and I think the best way to wrap it up is if you would offer us a meditation.
Oh, sure.
And we'll just go straight out.
Okay, cool.
And we'll finish with a meditation, and then we're gonna go hug a tree.
All right.
And so y'all do the same. Much love.
Love it. All right, beautiful. So just this really simple meditation. I would prefer that you're not driving or operating heavy machinery. Please make sure that you're
Yes,
in
get
a
all those disclaimers out
quiet
of the way.
environment, you know, as much as possible. You could sit on a chair, you could sit on your bed, you could sit on the floor, just make yourself comfortable. And I just invite you to, let's just all just take a moment and close our eyes and connect to our breath. And just taking some deeper breaths, so breathing deep into the belly, feeling the sensation of the breath enter the body. And then exhale, relax your mouth and breathe out the mouth. Relax your jaw. Just take a couple more cleansing breaths. So just letting go of the day, letting go of even the podcast, letting go of that right now. Breathing in. And exhale, letting go. And so just take a few more breaths on your own time. And I want you just to begin to relax your body. So we can breathe in, focusing on our head. And then as you exhale, I want you just to relax your eyebrows, relax your cheeks. Just letting go of any way that you've been holding or contracting the body. And then I want you to bring awareness to your neck and throat. And if you could imagine from the inside out, just the softening and expanding of the body. And then breathing into your chest, taking a deep breath into your lungs, inhale. And then exhale, let it all go. And then breathing down into the low belly. And then on your exhale, I want you just to let go of any tension or gripping there. Breathe in. And you can exhale. You could even let out a sigh or a sound of relief and release. And then breathing down into your legs, into your knees, and just melting, softening any areas of tension. Just allowing gravity just to pull you deeper and drop you in to your body a little bit deeper. And then bringing your awareness down into your calves, down into your feet. And just seeing if you can get the bottoms of your feet to open. And just releasing, take a full cleansing breath, just releasing anything out from the body, anything out from the body mind. Letting go of any worries, letting go of any plans. Breathing in. And exhale, breathing out. And so I want you just to breathe in a quality. And so what I mean by that is I want each one of you just to focus on a word. So maybe you're going to breathe in some peace. Maybe it's love. Maybe it's trust. I want you just to choose whatever intuitive word comes to mind. And then breathe, see that breathing into your whole body, creating more space. And for those of you that like to work with visualization or color, perhaps you want to work with a color, whatever helps you feel more nourished and resourced. So you could take a few deep breaths, breathing in. And breathing out. And breathing in deeply, breathe it all in, breathe it into every cell, see it, see all your cells just soaking it up, juicing up that theme, that quality, that color. And you could even have a slight smile turn up on your mouth. And what's so beautiful is that your brain doesn't know if it's real or not, but you're going to start to produce some real good hormones, some feel-good hormones. You can place your hands at any part of your body, maybe just a part that needs a little more love or attention, or wherever feels comfortable for you. Just making a contact and connection with yourself. Take a deep breath in. And take a deep breath out. And this just came to me, so I'm going to say it. I feel like it's a theme of our day today. I just invite you to breathe in. I am home. And see what that feels like. Breathe out. Breathe in, I am home. And breathe out, I am home. Let's take a deep breath in. And exhale, just letting go. And you could take a moment, you could like wiggle your fingers or wiggle your toes. You could gently flutter your eyes open. Ooh, that was good.
You nailed it. Very good.
That was
Thank
so
you.
beautiful.
Thank you. I knew it was going to be good.
That was so good. You feel that? We're so charged up right now.
Damn. Very good.
Woo.
That's it.